Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through an article that I really want you to pay attention to. This is going to be very popular and it's going to buy Biden a lot of votes. So before, just keep an open mind as we go through it, right? It's best. It's best to do that. We'll talk about exactly what it's going to do towards the end of the video. And this is it. Biden administration slashes credit card late fees, sparking pushback by critics. The FPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is cracking down on credit card late fees, slashing the typical fee from $32 to $8. The new rule, adopted on Tuesday, will save Americans more than $10 billion a year. It also closes a 2010 loophole exploited by large credit card giants that allow them to harvest billions of dollars of junk fees. That's by Watchdog. Today's rule ends the era of big credit card companies hiding behind the excuses of inflation when they hike fees on borrowers and boost their own bottom lines. So you see how they're straw manning the credit card people. And I want to talk about that. I'm not saying they're good people. We'll talk about it in a minute. The new rule is in line with the Credit Card Accountability and Disclosure Act, passed in 2009. Credit card companies were building a business model on penalties and fee harvesting. The Card Act required late fees to be responsible and proportional. Credit card companies collect billions of dollars in excessive late fees at the expense of economically vulnerable families every year. And this is a quote from Chuck Bell. It's simply unfair to impose a steep late fee penalty that far exceeds the credit card company's cost, especially when someone is just a few hours or a couple of days late making their payment. Senator Tom Scott, ranking member of the Senate Banking Committee, wrote a letter to the CFPB saying the new rule would ultimately hurt the consumers, not help them. According to the senator, if credit providers are not compensated by borrowers for their delinquent payments, other borrowers are forced to compensate. Ultimately, the lawmaker says slashing late fees would raise the cost of credit for all Americans. This would particularly impact low and middle income consumers with limited credit history and restrict their access to credit, banking accounts, and financial products. And it is shifting costs from a small subset of borrowers to the entire pool of borrowers, rising the cost of borrowing for all. This is part of socialism, including those who made sacrifices to pay their bills on time. That's who gets punished. Those people right there. The people that did right by doing the right thing, they get punished. He also accused the CFPB of demonizing common sense incentives that promote financially responsible, pointing out the late fees deter poor financial behavior. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce plans to sue the CFPB over the rule, saying the agency has once again exceeded its authority. Now, this was the Biden administration's broader initiative. Now, immediately, I'm like, all right, what's really going on? To limit so-called junk fees, which are often discussed as surcharges, disguised as surcharges on credit cards and loans. The White House praised the CFPB's crackdown, which it says will impact 45 million Americans who are charged late fees and save them on average $220 a year. All right, so what's the takeaway? What's the deal? Well, Look, this is a lot of people are going to like this, but it's just like the Social Security video I made, which I'm going to make another one tomorrow or maybe this evening if I have time. I'm going to do it while I walk around the pond. But every time they do something like this to help the poor and the middle class, it brings everybody down. It's not to help anybody, it's to help themselves. I mean, yeah, okay. Let's say the credit card companies actually do, and they do. I'm sure their fees are awful. I mean, that's why you don't carry a balance. So is it them? Are they the evil people? Or should the free market sort this out? Should we let companies do whatever they want? Like, to a certain extent, I understand monopoly and stuff like that. But these credit card companies, it's it's a it's getting you in debt so you'll pay forever on a balance. They want you to pay on a balance forever. Okay, you need to know that going into credit card debt. It's not set up for you to be able to pay it off real quick. But we have to be smart enough to know that that's what they do. It's a scam, and it's a legal scam. Hey, I'll loan you money, but it's going to cost you 20%. You can say yes or no. I don't know if you're late. There's late fees. You can say yes or no. It's up to you. As long as it's all disclosed, the government should do nothing. The problem is when they start doing these things like stepping in to help us. We don't need help from the government. We need to. If it was an open and free market, it would sort itself out. That's the whole thing. It needs to be open and free. This credit card company's charging 30%, and their fees are high. Well, people won't use them. That's the thing. You would go to a different credit card company. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to make everything more expensive for all of us. It's the way it always is. It is socialism. What's going on with Social Security? The middle class and the upper class are going to have to get less. We got a story to do on that, and I made a video the night about it. And they're going to shift that to they're going to give it more to the poorer people and less to the people that are doing better. That sounds like, hey, they need to pay their fair share. It all sounds good, but when you think through it, it's not at all what's supposed to happen. Everybody needs to get their fair share. Even the people that work hard, these people that are wealthy, they probably work and do things better and harder and smarter than the people that are very, very poor. They desire more, they sacrifice more a lot of times. Now, I'm really trying to be in the middle on this. It's hard to, because I can see socialism from a mile off. And when they start doing this, they shift it over, say, oh, we're gonna give all of this to these people down here, and you'll just have less. But wait a minute, I worked harder. I did more. It should be equal for everybody. Yeah, but they have more. It doesn't matter. You go back in history, read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. They took all the wealth through history. They take the wealth from the rich people and distribute it out, and the wealthy would get it back. They understand money, and they work hard. Wealthy people work all the time. They never stop. They don't take vacations. They work. That's all they do is work. So you're saying the person that works more, that produces more, that sacrifices more, should pay more in taxes, should get less in Social Security because they don't need it because they made more, right? I don't believe that. I think it should be equal for everybody. You get what you put in, and that is it. Guys, if you're relying on the government to take care of you, please consider something. Side hustle, selling stuff. Find stuff and sell it. That could be a side hustle. Find something and sell it. That's a really good hustle, by the way. I've done some businesses where I just build stuff and try to sell it, and it doesn't work out. If you can find something already built and sell it, that's a good way to do it. Welding. I teach welding on Taylor Welding. Video. It'll be in the description. But that's all for that. Now, just know there's a lot to be said about it, but that's my take on it. It should be equal for everybody, no matter how much you make. The people making more sacrifice more. but they're getting punished. It's wealth redistribution, and it's not fair, and it's going to cost everybody more now. It's sad. It's sad to see our country doing what it's doing. All right, guys, have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Later.